Usually I get mint and ice cream.
I would like to say that I cook at home, but I don't. He hugs me and he says, "Are you my fragile flower?" I think if we could live outside permanently, we would.
I like tent camping, but I don't like leaky tents.
He thinks my tent leaks, and it does not. It is rain-proof.
Ever since we started camping, she said that I have this tent, and I'm like, okay.
He thinks he felt moisture. I don't think it was.
And we're on the air mattress, and the next thing that I know, I see water dribbling down the seam of the tent.
So he went and bought a fancy tent. So now we have 2 tents. I'm holding on to mine out of independence and to prove him wrong, yes.
She just told me about 100 times that my tent doesn't leak, and then the night that we go camping, it ends up leaking. And
We haven't gone camping since he got the new tent. I have, but the both of us haven't gone camping. So I've used the new tent by myself. It's nice. And then he wanted to pack up and leave because it was raining, and I don't think he'll ever live that camping trip down, because that was also the camping trip that he was to take the trash out, and he threw away an entire bag of our clothes. And we didn't find out till we got home.
when Holly and I met, I was at another sushi bar, and she seen me with a couple friends of mine.
At Blue Sushi Sake downtown. I went out with the intent to just have a great time and not worry about getting hit on or picking somebody up. It was the last thing on my mind. I just wanted to have fun. We were ordering a big fish bowl. It was one of those blue fish bowls. And I see Andrew. He had like a zip-up Columbia jacket on that was like orange and gray. Just looked like outdoorsy, fun, athletic. And I just remember saying to myself, if I ever married a guy, he would look like that. And then a girl walked up with a ring on her finger right next to him.
And Holly thought that I was with her, so I was taken.
And I was like, well, he's taken, whatever. So my girlfriend and I left, and we went to Irie, which is just kind of a dance club. And I was just dancing and having a great time. When I dance, just kind of free spirit, which is an important part of the story.
Dancing like crazy, hair's all over the place. Just, Holly's hair, it's long and blonde and curly, so it just, it's like a 60s rock band.
And typically when I dance by myself. I don't like dancing with other people. I don't like people coming up and dancing with me. If they do, I push them or dance away from them. Kind of this subtle, I'm not interested. Find another gal to grind on, because it's not gonna be me. He told me that he actually came in the bar, walked behind me, went upstairs, came back down, and then went to the bar, and I had never seen him do any of that.
We came back to the bar and we were downstairs, and I had to walk through a group of girls who were just dancing like crazy.
And he said I almost hit him while I was dancing, and that he would have never talked to me because I was dancing too crazy. So all of a sudden I look up and I look at the bar and he's there. And I'm like, wow, he's back. And I look, and the girl that was with him is now with her husband. I see his ring.
Went to the bar and just got a beer, and before I know it, I had someone tapping on my shoulder, and I just kind of looked back, and there's this blonde girl behind me.
Don't know why, but I just walked over to the bar. I tapped him on his shoulder, and I said, what are you doing?
And to myself, when I was thinking, I'm like, God, I think that was the girl who's dancing all crazy back there.
He goes, drinking a beer.
She said that you should take me out to dinner.
I was like, you should take me on a date.
I was like, okay.
And he goes, pause for a second, and he goes, well, you should take my number. I said, well, I don't have my cell phone.
Can you get your cell phone, please?
And he goes, well, you better go get it.
I don't think she was really happy with my comment.
Just for a moment, thought to myself, what a jerk. And then I was like, oh, he's cute, so I'll go get my phone. Then he called me the next day and asked me out to dinner.
We went out in Westo.
We went to Kona Steakhouse.
And I'm trying to remember what the restaurant's name was.
I think it's a steakhouse.
It was another sushi joint in Omaha.
Kona Grill. We went to Kona Grill.
She seemed like a very nice girl right off the bat.
Well, I was hungover, and I remember telling my friend this was going to be such a drag. This guy, I'm going to have to carry on all the conversation. He's going to be so boring. I don't even know why I'm going. And I just remember he pulled up in a truck, and I love trucks, and he gets out of his car, and it had just started snowing, and it was just like, this moment. And I just remember thinking, wow, he is great. And we went on the first date, and I must have been so either nervous or excited that I was chatting the whole time. But the waiter kept bringing me cherry Cokes. I think I had probably 7 Cokes. I was wide awake till 3:30 in the morning. Like, 1, excited just because I really liked him, and 2, because I had all that caffeine.
I had a feeling that we would definitely go on another date again.
He called me the next day and wanted to go get wings, and we hung out Monday, and we hung out Tuesday, and we hung out Wednesday. He was just so easy to talk to and accepting. I kind of left like, what just happened? I came home and I had a cold. I was sick. I got home on a Sunday. He wanted to go for a walk. I didn't.
One thing I remember the night we went out, she was in like sweatpants and a sweatshirt because I don't think she was feeling the best, or she was just very tired.
I had not showered. I was in sweatpants. Finally I went because I was hungry. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings and we went to Orange Leaf and got some frozen yogurt. I told him that Orange Leaf was in Exarban Village, and so he was excited about that.
They had a nice little park there, so I figured that I'll just go for a little walk.
Once we got there, I realized it wasn't exactly in the Exarban Village that we were thinking of. It was more in a strip mall on a busy street. So when we get home, he says, I want to go for a walk. And I said, well, I don't want to go for a walk. It's cold out.
I told her, well, let's just go to Memorial Park and go for a walk.
Whatever, let's go home and get Tucker. He says, I don't want to go home and get Tucker. I said, Andy, we always take Tucker on walks. Why wouldn't we take Tucker on this walk? Okay, let's go home and get Tucker.
I was still trying to plan how I'm going to do this or where I want to do this, and I figured, well, I thought it would be kind of cool just to do it on top of the pedestrian bridge.
You walk down this huge sidewalk, and at the very end of the sidewalk is one of the busiest side streets in Omaha, Dodge. And over it is a bridge, this big cement pedestrian bridge. I want to go right because there's this huge dog coming, and he says, no, we can't go right.
So I figured this would be perfect for her. People will be watching, and she'll be happy, and she'll have her glamorous proposal.
And I'm like, why is he being so bossy? So we go straight, and we get on the bridge, and there's street lights glaring in the side rails, and all of the cars going underneath are vibrating, and it's moving the street lights and shaking, and it's scaring Tucker. And I'm like, Andrew, pick up Tucker, he's scared. And Andrew is just like walking straight ahead, not even paying attention. I'm like, Andy, pick up, Tucker's scared. So I bend down to pick up Tucker, and Andrew yells, stop at me, like and I'm like, what? Like I thought I was gonna get hit or something. He's like, stop. And I'm like, what? I'm just picking up the dog.
I'm like, I'm gonna propose to you.
And he gets down on his knee. And I'm like, I'm holding Tucker, like, while he's doing it, and my eyes are just, like, big, and I'm like, he's doing this now?
And she just kind of froze.
Like, right here. I am not showered. I have no makeup. I'm in sweatpants that are 8 sizes too big for me, over the busiest street in Omaha.
Caught her off guard. Just how I wanted to do, too.
And he pulls out a ring, and he's like looking up at me like he's about ready to puke because he can't believe he's doing it either.
So I just got down on one knee and asked her if she would marry me.
And he says, will you marry me? And I'm like, yes. Like, I was in shock. I said yes. He stands up. We hug. We start walking home. I'm like numb. Don't realize what has just happened to me. And then we get halfway back up to the truck, and I start bawling. And he's like, what's wrong?
And she started crying, and I think she finally realized that I proposed to her.
I was like, oh God, he thinks that I'm gonna like tell him I don't want to marry him or something.
I knew that it was a good cry. She was just so surprised.
I just started bawling, and I was like, you proposed, and he's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. He's like, that's it? And I'm like, yeah. He calls me his fragile flower. I want to say some more things.
Oh, you do?
I do. Kind of just talk about Andrew and why I don't know if I can do it without crying. And I have never met somebody so selfless. He puts me first so much. I'd seen a lot of really bad relationships. And I always told myself that I would be with someone who puts me first, who respects me, who values the things that I do. And Andrew is all of those things, but I never envisioned myself having so much fun with somebody. He is absolutely my best friend, because we're always learning things about each other. We're always laughing, even when we're really mad at each other. We find a way to have fun, and I've learned that that's what makes marriages. And I'm just really excited to start a new chapter of our lives with each other.